Hi guys, Dan from Dan and Jim. In this video we're going to talk about EPC ratings. When we bought our first buy-to-let property, the EPC rating of this property was at a D. It's now at a C. Why is this important? Well, in 2025 the government are looking to introduce new rules that requires all landlords to have their properties at an EPC rating of a C when they get new tenants in. How did we get this up to a C? Well, firstly, we looked at the current EPC rating of this house, which was at a D, and on that there's a list of things you can do to up the EPC rating. In addition, we did some research into the road to see what other houses were, and there was one other property on this road that had an EPC rating of a C. So we carried out some remedial works, which James will talk you through shortly, but one of the key pieces of research we did into looking at the other house that was an EPC rating was to find the assessor that did that EPC rating. He knew the area and he knew that these houses could be up to an EPC rating of a C. Whilst carrying out the research in how to up the EPC rating, we came across spray insulation. We had a salesman come out who was very pushy in terms of how good the product could be, and he told us that by just having that product alone, without doing any other remedial work, the EPC rating of this house could become a C. From further research, there's a lot of negativity around spray foam insulation in terms of having to do work to the roof after this has been installed, and to the fact that it can cause condensation into the roof space. In addition, very importantly, some mortgage brokers won't lend to houses that have had spray foam insulation, so we didn't go anywhere near that.
So one of the first jobs we did to improve our EPC rating was change the radiator valves on both sides. So previously you had no temperature control, it was 0 or 100, all or nothing. So this isn't very efficient for the tenants because as soon as you open it, you're getting everything. As opposed to now, you've got some sort of control, different levels of heating you want from the radiator. So we spoke to our plumber and they recommended these valves. DASOF TRVS valves, I think they're called. I'll get them on the screen now. And they offer a guarantee with these valves as well. And from our plumber's experience, they've never had any issues with these valves. And they also feel quite robust. And I think this is one of the other things we've tried to do on this refurb, is to create the perception of a high quality finish by the touch and the feel. So these feel quite high end and feel sturdy, which again increases to the value, and we get the benefit of the EPC stuff, which is a bonus.
Another aspect to up in the EPC rating was to fit a new boiler. The previous boiler was very, very old, over 20 years old, and it was having lots of sign of wear and tear in terms of when it was fired up, the noise it was making was horrendous. And given the cost of living crisis and the energy crisis at the moment, we also thought potential tenants would be looking at the age of the boiler in terms of it being efficient. We decided to go belt and braces for a Worcester Bosch Green Star 30i, which will have longevity for the property, comes with a guarantee. We actually got this from British Gas on 0% interest over 3 years, and it was a very competitive price. Another aspect we carried out to up the EPC rating was to improve the insulation in the loft. When we arrived at the property, the insulation was sporadic and it was only up to 100mm. In addition, after the rewire was carried out, obviously electricians were in the loft, things were moved, so we tidied all the current insulation up and we topped that up to 300mm, ensuring we left space around the sides of the loft for airflow, and this was a key thing that upped our EPC rating from a D to a C.
So they were the three main things we did to up our EPC rating, and after speaking with our mortgage broker as well, he said some mortgage companies are going to start giving better rates to landlords who have EPC ratings above a C. So it's in our best interest to make sure we get there, so we get a lower interest rate so we can make some more money, which is what everyone is here to do. So to summarise, the main things to look for are: do some research on the road or the area you're on to see if there's any other properties with an actual C, and then if you can, try and get the same assessor out, because they'll sort of know what to look for and that the properties are actually achievable at getting a C. And then look on the government website at the couple of things they suggest. So we've done the radiator valves, new boiler, which you can finance and pay for out of the cash flow, and then also the insulation in the loft, which is a relatively cheap thing to do. I think it cost us maybe 150 quid to buy the insulation, and then we just sort of fitted it ourselves. Bit of a dirty job, but it's not the end of the world, and it only takes a morning to sort of do. So if you like these videos, guys, and you want to see more content around our first buy-to-let and property investing in general, please subscribe to Dan and Jim, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.
Oh, I'm doing terrible. Doing terrible. Come on!
Do you want me to do it?
No, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it.
I want to do it. I want to do it.